The Balkan crisis was a series of conflicts and tensions that took place in the Balkan region of Europe in the years leading up to the First World War. What happened in the Balkans is really confusing, so I've broken it down into 3 stages. Firstly, the crisis of 1908, secondly, the First Balkan War, and thirdly, the Second Balkan War. The key thing here is to realise why the conflict in the Balkans made war more likely. The simple answer to this is that it increased tension between 3 countries, Russia, Serbia, and Austria-Hungary. Ultimately, these tensions contributed to the crucial event, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Once we understand the conflict in the Balkans, we can begin to understand why this assassination led to the outbreak of the war. So, firstly, what is the Balkans? The Balkans is a region in southeastern Europe. Home to many different ethnic groups and nationalities, there was a lot of competition and conflict between these groups. For centuries, this area had been controlled by the Ottoman Empire. By the end of the 19th century, however, the Ottoman, also known as the Turkish, Empire was beginning to lose control. When any powerful empire begins to fade, other countries are quick to take advantage. 2 countries in particular, Russia and Austria-Hungary, were particularly interested. Russia had close ethnic and religious ties to the region. A major ethnic group known as the Slavs, or Slavic people, connected Russia to many people in the Balkans. Austria-Hungary, meanwhile, bordered many countries in the Balkans, Bosnia, Serbia and Romania, and they therefore had important geographical reasons to be concerned about this area. The annexation of Bosnia. This brings us to the first key crisis, the annexation of Bosnia by Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary was the first country to take advantage of the collapse of the Ottoman Empire. The Austro-Hungarians had long been interested in the Balkan region of Europe, and it saw the weakening of the Ottoman Empire as a perfect opportunity to expand its own influence in the region. In 1908, Austria-Hungary took advantage of a period of political turmoil in the Ottoman Empire to capture and annex Bosnia. To annex a country is to take it over, claiming control over it. This move was controversial because Bosnia had significant populations of ethnic Serbs who were aligned with Serbia. The annexation also created tension between Austria-Hungary and Russia. Russia saw itself as the protector of Slavic interests in the Balkans and was therefore unhappy with Austria-Hungary for annexing Bosnia. The annexation of Bosnia in 1908, therefore, worsened the relationship between Austria-Hungary and Russia, as well as destabilising the Balkan region. And this destabilisation was about to become clear when war broke out in the Balkans in 1912. The First Balkan War. As the Ottoman Empire began to weaken, various ethnic groups in the region started to push for independence. A new group named the Balkan League was formed. The Balkan League was made up of 4 countries: Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria and Montenegro. These countries decided to declare war on the Ottomans. These wars resulted in significant changes to the political map of the region, with several new independent states being established. However, these new states were not able to resolve all of the ethnic and national tensions in the region, and there was still a lot of competition and conflict between the different groups. Therefore, this created a volatile situation that made further conflict even more likely. And this led to our final crisis, the Second Balkan War. The Second Balkan War took place just a year after the end of the First Balkan War. During the First War, an alliance of Serbians, Greeks, Bulgarians and Montenegrins had defeated the Ottoman Empire and taken control of much of its territory. However, the alliance between these countries was weak, and there were many disagreements over the division of the captured territory. In 1913, Bulgaria, which felt it had not been given enough territory in the peace settlement, launched a surprise attack on its former allies, Serbia and Greece. And this began the Second Balkan War. The war was characterized by intense fighting between the various countries, with Bulgaria suffering a number of defeats at the hands of Serbia and Greece. In the end, the Treaty of Bucharest was signed, which resulted in Bulgaria losing most of the territory it had gained during the First Balkan War. This Second War then was significant because it demonstrated the fragility of the alliance between the various Balkan states and highlighted the potential for conflict between them. The region had now turned into a highly unstable area. It was only a matter of time before an even greater crisis emerged. So all of this is a bit complicated, and well done for getting this far. Let's give a quick summary here, which will help explain the key bits of information. The Balkan crisis was made up of three key stages. Firstly, Austria-Hungary's annexation of neighbouring Bosnia in 1908. This act angered many countries in the region, in particular Serbia and Russia. It destabilised the area and contributed to the outbreak of two separate wars, the First and Second Balkan Wars. The First War was an attempt by four countries to gain independence from the Ottoman Empire. Because the alliance between these countries was weak, however, this led to a Second Balkan War. There were three key consequences of this general crisis in the Balkans. Firstly, it led to the rise of a very powerful country, Serbia. Serbia grew in strength and was ever more determined to lead the Slavic people towards full independence. The idea of pan-Slavism, the unification of the Slavic people, became increasingly popular, and this push for independence played an important role in the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand in the summer of 1914. Secondly, Austria-Hungary became concerned about the Serbians. They did not want an independent league of Balkan nations. Rather, they wanted to control this area for themselves. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, it brought greater tension between Russia and Austria-Hungary. Both of these nations wanted control of this area, and as we will see in the next video, the Balkan crisis set the stage for the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. This would be the spark that would begin the First World War.